What is going on, everyone? I don't even know what to say. It's taken me 2 days to actually think about what to be talking about in this video because that was an absolutely disappointing game from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, to be up 19-0 heading into the fourth quarter, you're on the road against a backup quarterback, against the Houston Texans, a divisional rival. This is definitely a season defining game, and it was definitely a pathetic collapse from the Jacksonville Jaguars. What's going on, everyone? This is Jag Central, and I hope you're all doing well. But this is definitely not going to be a fun one because the Jacksonville Jaguars suffered the biggest blown lead in franchise history, losing to the Houston Texans 36-29. And the worst part of it all for me, it's not really the collapse. Okay, the collapse is bad because it's just embarrassing, right? But we had a chance to go 6-3 and all but end the Texans' playoff hopes. Like, they were there for the taking. Like, when's the last time we've beaten the Houston Texans twice in one season? That was our chance to literally kill their playoff hopes. They'll be 3-6. We'll be 6-3, and we'll be very close to the Indianapolis Colts, who had just won in Germany. And now, for me, going into this game, I was thinking our best chance of getting into the playoffs is winning the AFC South because it's a dogfight for the wildcard spot. So for me, I was thinking we beat the Texans, and then it's literally in our hands to basically beat the Chargers next week and then beat the Colts when we play them the next two times. And essentially, that would have been my route into getting into the playoffs. But we've found a way to lose. We fought to 5-4. The Texans are 4-5. They're right back in the wildcard race. And now we have the Texans, we have the Chiefs, the Bills, the Chargers, the Ravens, even the Bengals, who potentially could climb up as well. So now I feel like our chance of winning the AFC South is going to be very, very slim because we have to beat the Colts twice, and then we have to hope for them to lose a game or two, and we have to also end the season perfect, which we haven't been this season. I'm not really going to go through any game flow breakdown today because it's just not worth kind of going through that mess. I'm just going to give my three biggest takeaways. And if you're new to the channel, this is the format for my reviews. I kind of look at the three biggest takeaways, whether that's from this game specifically or it's a trend that's kind of been building over the last few weeks. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe. I'm really, really close to 200 subscribers. I would really love to hit 200 before the end of the season. So let's just get into the first takeaway. My first takeaway is that this defense has completely fallen apart. The magic that they had at the beginning of the season, where they were a turnover machine, essentially that was masking a lot of the problems, and we just didn't see it. And one of the biggest problems that we have this season is the pass rush. It is non-existent. We have the lowest sack rate in the league. Davis Mills was hit on just 9% of his 45 dropbacks on Sunday. He had all day to throw. The receivers were running wide open. It was just ridiculous. Like, I saw a stat that in the fourth quarter, David Mills had, apart from one throw in the fourth quarter, he had thrown the ball out in under 2 seconds. I know you probably can say to yourself, all right, cool, the pass rush can't get to David Mills if he's getting the ball out that quick. I completely understand that. But at the same time, where is the coverage? Because that means he's seen his first or second read that quickly to say, you know what, the ball's going to go there. And if that's the case, that means we have to also question, was trading Tyson Campbell for Greg Newsome a mistake? Because Tyson Campbell is one of, or was, or is one of the best man-to-man coverage guys in the league. And Newsome is more of a zone guy, so it doesn't mean that he can't play man. It just means that his strength are in the zone defense. So if the quarterback can stand there and say to himself, all right, cool, bam, there, that guy's open. Maybe we need to change the defensive structure. Maybe we need to be more man-to-man to give the defensive line that we're paying a lot of money to, Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, Eric Armstead, time to get to the quarterback. But at the moment, we keep hearing that Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker are getting pressures, but who cares if they're getting pressures if the ball comes out in 2 seconds and if it's not leading to any sacks or any bad throws? So essentially, we're paying guys to pressure, but we're not doing anything in the back end to basically make it difficult for the quarterback to throw a bad pass or what do you call it, or hold on to the ball for any longer. That's what they're making our offense do, which I'm going to kind of go into, which is my second takeaway, which is the offensive execution has completely imploded. It's literally like the offensive line is a turnstile because they've given up 5 sacks. Walker Little and Chuma Edoga looked so lost out there. Trevor Lawrence is running for his life on every single play. But then for me, it's just not on the line. Trevor Lawrence has to take some blame here because he's holding onto the ball for way too long. He's waiting for plays to develop when they're just not there sometimes. And also sometimes the play is there, but he's waiting for it to develop instead of just expecting that the play is going to develop and just getting the ball out. And this entire offense, they just can't execute. Like, if we look at the first drive of the game where the Houston Texans turn over the ball to Jarrion Jones, he gets interception. The defense gave us the ball basically on the halfway line. We had a short field. The offense sputters. We get down there, we attempt a field goal, and we get a penalty on the kick. So now we have a fresh set of downs. We're in the, I think it was like 33 yard line or something, and we still can't punch it in for a touchdown. So we had to settle for 3. So we had 2 chances to get a touchdown, and we only came out with a field goal. And we just basically just don't have no killer instinct on offense because that is what is killing this team. Like in the fourth quarter, I think that stat came up on the on Trevor Lawrence's last drive, just before the last drive he had. He only had 1 yard in the whole of fourth quarter. We had 3 and outs. I know we're putting blame on the defense for not basically stopping the comeback, but we also have to put blame on the offense because they have to keep the defense off the field, because if the defense just keep coming on, they're going to get tired. So the offense have to not get 3 and outs. They have to keep time of possession. They have to keep Davis Mills and the Texans off the field. If they kept them off the field, then that comeback probably doesn't happen. But then, of course, you can say the same thing for the defense. If they make a stop, then the Texans don't come back. But this is not just for me, just on one unit. It's just not on one player. For me, it's just on the whole team. So my third takeaway is kind of goes into the whole team. This team is always finding a way to lose because the entire story of this loss is just basically self-inflicted wounds. We were 19 points up. In the fourth quarter, the team just imploded. The defense couldn't get a stop. The offense went 3 and out on 2 straight drives. And let's just talk about discipline again. I feel like I'm talking about discipline every single week. 9 penalties for 90 yards. This team leads the league in penalties. They lead the league in the lowest amount of sacks. We even had a touchdown to Jacoby Myers, completely wiped off the board because of a penalty. Now, luckily, we did end up scoring that drive anyway, but that's not the point. You just can't rely on luck. That's the first time this happened this season. In previous games, we've had penalties wiped off for a touchdown and we just had to settle for a field goal. But the single moment isn't gonna, for me, the single moment that's gonna define this entire loss and potentially this entire season is that final drive. Trevor Lawrence did what he needed to do. I know he might not have had a great game and whatnot, blah blah blah, but he did what he needed to do on that last drive, get us into field goal range to win the game. A 12-yard catch that would have put us on the 33-yard line. That would have been a 50-yard field goal for Cam Little, and a 50-yard field goal for Cam Little in that dome. It would have been completely fine. He would have possibly got that game-winning field goal, but it was negated by illegal use of hands penalty. That is the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars in a nutshell. Even when we make the play, a undisciplined mistake wipes it all away. The team has had drop problems, penalty problem, a protection problem, and when you have all 3, you get historic collapses like this. So now we're 5-4, clinging onto the 7th seed. And basically, we only have the 7th seed because we've beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. So we have the tiebreaker over them. It doesn't get easier because next week we go onto the road to play the Los Angeles Chargers, who are 7-3. And they're one of the best teams in the AFC as well. And they're in a very tough division. So for them, it's a must-win game for them because they need to make sure that they're not going to win the division. Or they might, but they can't count their chickens. And this is a must-win game for them. It's a must-win game for us. And we are literally now in a dogfight for our playoff lives, and this team is trending in the wrong direction and it's happening quite fast. That's my breakdown. This was kind of a painful one, so just give me one word you're going to describe this loss. Let me know down in the comments, and this is a low point in the season for me. And as always, if you can stomach it, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.